This is a pretty cool log here. I mean, it has just so much character. And this is a cherry tree that I moved here from 910 County Line Road in Bryn Mawr in 2002, maybe 2003. And it had been dead a long time there already by then. I remember my buddy, this was my buddy's tree in his yard, and his mom asked me to cut it down, and I was just like, I can't cut that tree down. That might have been like 1982 or 3 or something. A long, long time ago. And so when she did have it cut down, the guy just topped it out and he left the trunk of the tree. And I mean, just look at all this incredible looking, the spiraling grains here. I think look at the different mosses. We got some Virginia creeper growing in there, and then there's a bunch of sawdust, and actually my buddy nicked it here with a chainsaw, which I was unfortunate. I liked it unnicked, but I mean, just look at the mosses that are growing on this. The different way the decay has been acting on these old wounds here. And then that's like an old burl or something there. There's another couple little nubs here. I mean, look at that. Patterns and the textures and the colors here. This thing is amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of nature. And we were kind of having a talk about it. Look, that's getting loose there. They were getting ready to move, and I'm like, well, let's take the tree with us. Let's take the old cherry tree with us, man. We grew up with this tree. And the guy's like, yeah, let's do it. And so the next morning, I had literally yanked it out of its roots with a pickup truck, dragged it across the yard, put a pulley in an oak tree, and dragged it across the yard and was getting ready to load it the next day. And my buddy's brother wakes up and says, hey, I woke up this morning, I saw this tree in the backyard. I'm like, yeah, I had a few beers in me, sounded like a good idea. Now it's sitting in the backyard. I'm like, nah, it's cool, bro, I'll go get it. So I've invited him to come see the tree, man. Maybe they'll come check it out. But that's only one part of what I want to talk about today. Notice, there's no mushrooms growing on this tree. Now, why is that? 20 years later, there's no mushrooms. I don't see any mushrooms on that tree. This tree, been dead a couple years. Oak, red oak, was probably killed by the armillaria, the honey mushrooms. And I mean, look at these mushrooms, man. This is the first time I've ever seen mushrooms like this. I mean, I knew this tree had armillaria. I had seen the honey mushrooms. There's a couple, they grow in the yard too, you know? You can see, and I've seen some patches growing in the yard. There they are like that. But I've never, and I might have seen them around the stump, but nothing like this. I mean, that's just a vast cluster after cluster of honey mushrooms. And, you know, at this point, I think I'm just going to eat them best I can, because there's not much I can do to, you know, you could say, oh, well, you should try to, you know, grind the stump out, whatever, maybe. But this particular mushroom is a very, very aggressive tree killer. And it has like these woody mycelium. It almost looks like tree roots. They're black. And, you know, some of that black there might be an indication as well. But anyhow, you know, you can maybe keep it from spreading to the neighbors, but you're not going to stop it from spreading to these trees, which already have bacterial leaf scorch, so they're not long for the world anyhow. And so what are we going to do? We'll probably just eat them instead. Anyhow, lots and lots and lots of my honey mushrooms, so I'm going to crawl back in there and dig them all out. All right, and you know, some of this stuff is a little too old, and it's not going to be very, very good to eat. I might just throw it in the pressure cooker, though, and try to maybe use some of the broth medicinally or something. We'll see. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.